Hey, it's your pal.
And your pal Taylor.
And I'm their pal, Bubby.
Wait, just keep going. He'll cut this out.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
So, Bubby here is my boss, Taylor's coworker. But really, he's just like everybody's dad. Grandpa, how old are you doing it?
Nice.
Could be grandpa.
I think father figure.
Father figure. We all give each other a lot of garbage all the time, so it makes life a lot of fun at work. So, anyways, he's got some perspectives in all seriousness, which we're not used to here with Bubby, so this should be interesting about Black History Month and his experience in the world. So let's hear it.
Yeah, so I come from a mixed race. Mom is white and dad is black. And with it being Black History Month, I thought I'd just give, my take on it. And like the things I went through as a kid and growing up. And so when my mom met my dad, her side of family wasn't for it at all. It was in the 60s. They're like, no way this is happening. So when she married my dad, they literally said, we don't want nothing to do with you. Cut her off. And so then I was born, my sister was born a year later, and then my brother was born 10 years later. We never had no interaction with that side of the family. And it's weird because my dad's side of the family is from Tennessee. We went down there, seen them every summer. I know them all, but my mom's side of the family lived 30 minutes away, and I had never met them. And when we were 12, 11-ish, my mom's mom got real sick, and she passed away, and they reached out, to let my mom know. My dad told me if I wanted to, I could go meet them. He wasn't gonna hold me back, because my dad has always been loving of all people. And so at that time, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with my mom. So we went out there and we met a couple times, and it was just, my whole perspective was just like, how can you not love your family, like your daughters, your grandkids? Like, I don't even know you guys. And that perception, so I met them a couple times, then I was just like, I'm okay. The perception I had of the whole time was that, in which I never had a problem with, black or white. I just didn't know nothing about white people. The only white person I knew was my mom. And the part of town I grew up in was very segregated. It was just nothing but black people and my mom. So I went in the military when I was 17, 18, and then that's when I first became aware of being around people of other races, especially white people. And I started to realize, okay, man, people are people. You can't judge people by the actions of certain people. And it took me that, I was 17, 18 years old till I finally realized and this is gonna sound weird, but let white people in my life. And, I don't have a bad racist bone in my body. It's something I didn't know. I just knew that they didn't want me and my sister or my dad. That's all I knew. When I say they, I'm just talking about my mom's people. And so joining the military, and I was in the military over 10 years. Some of my best friends I've ever had to this day are my brother in arms, and I would die for these people. We best friends, and that just opened me up to where, everybody is the same. Probably 7, 8 years ago, my mom's dad passed away. He was well into his 90s. And my dad asked, could me, my brother and sister attend the funeral for my mom? I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this for our mom. Okay, so we get there. I don't recognize nobody. Nobody. And of course, me, my brother and sister, we're the only black people in there and everything. But then a first cousin of mine actually stood up, and she was like, Granddad, I love you, but I don't like you. And she stood up and just told this whole story. She starts crying. Me and my sister are looking at each other like, uh-oh. And she goes into a story about how she has first cousins and family that literally we lived right across the street from each other. We didn't know each other. And the whole funeral home started crying because she just, talking about how, he caused a whole generation of family not to know each other. And when we should have been so close. And so that was the one lasting thing to where I'm thinking like, you know what? Yeah, we're not gonna let generational dislike or generational racism affect the person who I am now and how I raise my kids and everything,
So I guess moving on to like more recently, has there ever been like a time that you can recall that you've maybe experienced racism or still can tell that it's present in today's society?
Yeah, a few years ago, before I bought my house, I used to pay, you guys know I'm a cash guy. I always use straight cash. And
It's because you're old.
nice, that is it. I don't trust the banking system.
There it is.
Your mattress?
But so I went to a Sheetz, and at that time, I guess average person can get $400 or $500 out, but Sheetz make it to where you can get as much out as your bank lets you get out. I can get out $2,000. So I got $1,000 out, threw the receipt away, got in my car, pulled off. Wasn't speeding or anything. Literally, I was a couple blocks away from Sheetz. Cop behind me, turn on the lights. I pull over. He comes up, hey, how you doing, sir? He like, what are you doing around the neighborhood? I'm like, I live not too far down the street. And he was like, can you go ahead and step out of the car? I thought this was weird because he still didn't tell me why he stopped me or anything. And he like, do you have anything on you that I should know about? And at that time I was surveying, so I got a pocket knife that I was keeping in my pocket. I'm a surveyor. And then I pressed my other pocket and I'm like, I knew right then I was in trouble. Like literally it's bad when you got money on you and you're in trouble. And I'm like, I got a large sum of money in my pocket. I just got money out to pay rent. And he's like, how much? I'm like, I got over $1,000. And he was like, are you a drug dealer or something? I'm like, no. He's like, you can't get that much money out of the ATM. I'm like, yes, you can, sir. I've been doing it for years. He's like, show me the receipt. I had threw the receipt away. At that point, he put me in handcuffs. He called the K9 unit to come on out. They ransacked my car. They actually just ransacked it, trunk, everything. And after he didn't find nothing, he told me I need to go ahead and get home. He took the handcuffs off me. And at that time, it was just like, wow, I don't care, how far we've come. There's still situations like that in this world, And me and Taylor ran into an incident in 2020 during the election, because I feel like that brought some people's true colors out.
Yeah.
But me and Taylor were involved with another one of our coworkers on social media, and one person stated something that was pretty borderline racist. And I stated that a person that I gotta raise my son different than you raise your son. And I went to show him literally, you as a father, you can teach your son to stand up for himself. Stand up for what he did right, any wrongs that he encountered. Me as a father, I can't teach my son that. I gotta teach my son to shut your mouth, make sure you come home that night. I don't care if you're right, this person's wrong, this cop is wrong, shut your mouth, you're gonna come home tonight. We gotta raise our family different. So those are just a couple of instances where I feel like society still hasn't progressed a lot. But it's progressed some because I'm here with my white buddy, my Mexican buddy. Woo!
Oh, we put up with him
Yeah.
sometimes.
Sometimes.
Oh, pals, thanks for listening to Bubby Here's Perspective, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. I'm your pal.
Your pal Taylor.
It's been fun. Peace
Peace.
out.
It sound right, boy.